Hello, good afternoon. This is Jaime Licaco again on Inner Mind Online. We have not been broadcasting regularly because of so many problems and things that have to be done. This afternoon, I would like to talk about astral projection. There are so many questions being asked about this. First wrote about this many years ago, and since then there have been questions of people who were having astral projection or who were having this experience that's called astral projection, or technically called out of body experience, or OOBE. So we're going to discuss what this is, why it happens, and what to do when it happens, and other things that connected with astral projection, which is a natural process. And many people who experience this get afraid when they see their bodies, or when they see themselves floating over their physical body, and they think that they are dead. So let's begin with maybe definition. Well, what is really astral projection? Why is it called astral in the first place? Astral projection, as I said, is called out of body experience because you are out of your physical body. It is a phenomenon where a person sleeping suddenly wakes up and finds himself or herself out of the body and floating in the air on top of the bed, and seeing the body sleeping on the bed. And that creates panic. If you don't know anything about this, you would think that you're dead. And you frantically try to get inside your body again. And the more you try, the more you cannot. You cannot move. You shout and there is no sound that comes out. So you become frustrated and you keep on trying and trying until you get tired of doing it. Well, the thing to do when this happens to you is to relax. The more you get frightened, the more you get afraid, the more you struggle to get inside your body, the more difficult it is. You will get inside your body eventually, but it's going to be difficult at the beginning. Uh, as I said, astral projection is a natural process. It happens to almost everybody, but not everybody realizes this. No, many times we are out of our body without knowing that we are out of the body. We think that we're just dreaming, and sometimes we awaken outside our body. That's when the trouble begins. So let's discuss this. Maybe, and I will talk about my first astral projection when it first happened to me. I didn't know anything about this, and but I wasn't afraid. That was something up to now I cannot understand. No? The first time it happened, usually people will get afraid if they find themselves out of the body. But what happened to me was this: 1975. That was a long time ago. I didn't know anything about this. Nothing about psychic phenomena. Nothing about the occult. Nothing about parapsychology. Um, I attended a seminar called the Inner Peace Movement, which was handled or conducted by two Americans who came from Australia, Bettina Lohman and Nancy Ziebert. Still can't remember their names. These are two clairvoyants and psychics who conducted a seminar called the Inner Peace Movement. And this particular seminar teaches you how to meet your angels, how to sense the energy of the body of people, how to meet your spirit guides, etc., and how to know your psychic powers, whether what percentage you're psychic, so psychic healing, prophecy, telepathy, clairvoyance, there's percentages pa yan. And then also introducing you to your spirit guides, no, or how to contact the spirit guides. So these are some of the things I studied in this seminar. So one of the exercises that we were taught or underwent is that, see, there were 15 of us, about 15, including my wife was there at the time. And the one exercise is that a person, one of the participants, is asked to sit on a chair around which the other participants are around him. And his eyes, the one seated on the chair, eyes are supposed to be closed. And the people around him, the other members, are told by sign language to move their hands either from left to right, right to left, up or up, down, and then down, up. You know. So the first two guys who underwent this exercise didn't feel anything. And in fact, somebody said when he was going to his chair, said, ano ba itong kalokohan na pasukan natin, Jimmy? Sabi sa akin. Sabi ko, never mind, we're already here. Let's just make the most of it. So I was the second one to sit there, to be asked to sense the energy of people. So I wasn't expecting anything because the first two guys did not feel anything. Okay, so this is what happened. My eyes were closed, and the people around me, about siguro they were standing about at least 2 feet away from me, and they were asked to sweep, or how do you call this? Put their fingers up and down. Primero, let's say up, and then I said, your hands are moving from up to going down, from left to right. And I said, I could feel it. I could feel the energy of people. Even they were moving very slowly and about 2 feet away from me. I could feel the energy very strongly. That was something surprising. So, and then they moved their hands to the left, from left to right and right to left. And then when they were moving their hands from the bottom up, to my head, and keep on sweeping, like this, I could feel something at the pit of my stomach, like food coming up, like food, going up, like something going up my stomach. And every time they would move their hand upward, I would feel it going up. And they keep on doing it and doing it because I was quiet. And I shouted at the top of my voice to stop because I felt very uncomfortable. And sabi ko, it felt like, when you're going to vomit or throw up, it does a feeling that, that's something coming out. And said, my golly, if this reaches my mouth, the one in front of me, kawawa ito, because he or she will get the onus of the vomit. So I was shouting, stop, please stop. But nobody was hearing me. And they continued to move their hands upwards until it reached already my mouth. And then there was just air that came out of me. And I became cataleptic. Cataleptic means your body stiffens, it's like this. And my head was turned to the one side as if asleep. I was knocked out. And some people thought I had a heart attack. I could not move. The next instant, I saw myself on the ceiling, floating on the ceiling towards my left side, looking at my body sitting. And one of the instructors, si Bettina Loman, was at my back. So I was watching. And I said, how come that I could see myself sitting there and the face of Bettina Loman? Well, I am there. I know myself as floating. I do not have a body, but I was conscious. And I could see 360 degrees. I could see, even though I'm looking at myself, I could see even though my back. Then I tuned into the people in the room around me, and I could feel or sense their thoughts. I could read their thoughts. But I was not afraid. And in fact, I find it rather pleasant to be out of the body. And I was curious. I said, how did this happen? And after a while, Bettina Loman started snapping her fingers near my ear. You know? And then the sound was at first very far from me. Then the sound kept becoming nearer, nearer, and nearer until I woke up and everybody was relieved. No? And then I laughed and I said, "Hey, I saw all of you." I said, "No." And so I asked Bettina, "What happened?" Oh, she said, "You were just having a trip." What do you mean? I didn't know anything about astral projection. What do you mean trip? Oh, you were just having a trip. I saw you. You mean you saw me on where was I? I was on. You were on the ceiling or floating in the air, and you're having a grand time out of your body. And I said, "Well, what happened?" Well, sometimes this happens, and for me to explain this to you will take time. You have to come for counseling. That means I had to pay more. So, but since I was very curious what that is all about, I paid additional fee for counseling. So that's when she explained to me astral projection. It's the first time I heard of it, and I was curious. I started reading a lot about this phenomenon, and I found out that it happens to everybody. Almost everybody experiences astral projection without their knowing that they're out of their body. It is when we wake up outside our body that becomes problematical because you become afraid. Now, just to be sure that I don't forget it, in case that happens to you, do not be afraid. The more you struggle, the more you get afraid and struggle to get inside your body, the more difficult it is to do so. The best thing is to just relax, and then when you're relaxed, you will eventually get back to your body. So there is nothing to be afraid of. It's very natural. So I went for counseling, and Patina Loman talk about my psychic gifts, etc. So I have so many percent telepathy, so many percent clairvoyance, so many percent prophecy, so many percent healing powers. And they were all about 75 or 80 or 90, even I think in prophecy it was about 85 or 90, and clairvoyance about 80. And I was wondering, how did she get all those mathematical, arithmetical uh, figures? How did she compute that? So I was skeptical about these percentages, and it took me a long time, a lot of years later, that I found out that there's some sense. Prophecy, I heard, I have made several predictions that really came true, but I don't talk about this. Healing, I have done healing, clairvoyance, telepathy. I have done these things, seeing ghosts and all that, communicating with the spirits. I've done all of these things. So eventually, I believe that what you're saying is true. Then the other thing that she introduced me to is about spirit guides and how to contact the spirit guide. They have a different way of contacting spirit guides, which somehow I had forgotten the exact detail, but I think I still get the gist of how it is. Uh, but I have not tried it for many years now. So she said I have 7 spirit guides. I said 7. Excuse me. How come there are 7? So she counted 7. Let's talk a little bit about spirit guides. When I asked her how come 7, she cannot explain. She said only that people who have more or more responsibilities in life have more spirit guides. Those who do not have more responsibilities do not have need for too many spirit guides. But all of us have at least one, all, no exception. And spirit guides are different from guardian angels. Guardian angels is actually a religious concept, whereas spirit guides are an occult or esoteric knowledge. A spirit guide may have been human before, whom you have contracted to in the previous life to be your guide in this lifetime. That's a spirit guide. A guardian angel, an angel is a messenger of God, and a guardian angel is supposed also to guard you and to keep your conscience clean and warn you of things to come when there's something going to happen. But they cannot interfere with your karma. They cannot interfere with what's going to happen. They cannot prevent, let's say, an accident. Sometimes they do. I don't really know the, the, the conditions under which they could prevent this. But many times they don't. So, so that's a question mark for me. About the seven, later on, I met somebody from England. He was a spiritualist, Tom Johansson, a very famous healer, spiritual healer, who was the executive secretary or the executive head of the National Federation of Spiritual Healers in England. And we happened to become friends. And I found out he was at that time married to a medium, very famous medium named Coral Polge. I think she's no longer on the earth plane. And I don't know about Tom, whether she's still alive. I hope he is still. And he told me that if I will give him a letter addressed to Coral Polge, asking for information about my spirit guide, he will give it to her. And after about maybe 2 months, I received a letter from Coral Polge, or Polges, Polges, saying that I had seven spirit guides, and even pictures. She draws pictures of spirit guides. And I didn't know she was famous. I mean, you can still find. I think you can still see her on YouTube, drawing the spirit guides of people. And she told me I had seven spirit guides. So here comes seven again. Two pair persons already telling me I have a spirit guide, seven, but I have never seen them, nor have I. Well, I sometimes feel their presence, but I have never seen them and never talked to them, never heard them speak to me, never dreamt about them even. And then I met this Filipino architect professor in UP, Nonoy something, Osaita, yeah, is the name, who can see angels and talk to angels. And I asked him, "Can you see my angels?" So the spirit guides, he doesn't make any distinction between angels and spirit guides. I said, "Yes, I can see seven." Here again, seven came up. Three persons, different countries, Philippines, England, and United States, told me that I have seven spirit guides. So I take it for granted, although I could see them or hear them, but I've never had the chance to do that. Although I kept asking them, they never showed themselves. Mabuti pa si Elizabeth Kubler-Ross, yung kanyang spirit guide manifested, no, visibly to her. No? Elizabeth Kubler-Ross, the one who wrote about death and dying. She is a psychiatrist, I think. Okay, so that was my first encounter with astral projection. What is the astral body? Why does it happen? Why do we project ourselves out the body? Sometimes because we're tired, and the body is sick, or sometimes during accidents when it's in pain, get out of the body. But many times, even when we're just sleeping, sometimes the astral body detaches itself. You know, when you're dreaming that you are flying, for example, it's because your astral body is flying, but your physical body is asleep. So you feel so nice flying, and there is a sensation of flying because you're actually flying in your astral body. You see. Now, what is the astral body? According to esoteric literature or to occult science, there are seven bodies or sheets or vibrations enveloping the human being. There are seven layers, vibratory layers, no? And the most dense of this, the physical body. Then the next, the etheric double, which is your double, your etheric double, and then there is the astral body. Um, the astral body is called the desire body. It goes wherever you desire to be. When you think of something, it will appear there. If you think of an apple, it will be there, or a mango, it will appear. If you think of being in a certain place in Tokyo or in what whatever, Timbuktu, you'll be in Timbuktu immediately. So this is called the desire body. And there are several others, no? And different vibratory bodies, 7 of them in every human being. But we are aware only of these 3 or 4 sometimes now, the mental body also. And when it detaches, that's when we get into trouble. Why does the astral body detach itself from the physical? There are several reasons. One of them that I understand is that it helps to let the physical body get rest, complete rest. That's why we go out of our body. Number 2, we go out of our body to learn about the spirit world. We can meet spirit guides and other spirit beings in the astral body, in the astral field, and learn from them. So we can meet spirit guides or other beings or out of the body. So that's one reason why we go out of the body, the physical body. And there are many questions of people that I have received, no? And some ask you, can you pass through walls when you're in the astral body? Say yes, you can pass through walls. And if you think that there's an obstruction in the astral body, just think of it as gone, and it will be gone, because what you think becomes a reality in the astral body. And you know what is nice about, or dangerous perhaps in the astral body? Not dangerous. What well, maybe what's nice about it is that you cannot hide anything from anybody. In the astral field, everybody can see your thoughts. You cannot lie. So everybody it says things that are true. And when you get out of your body and you think of some place to go, you immediately are there, and you can go out as far as you want to, and nothing will happen to you because you are connected, your physical body, with a silver cord, which is elastic. It's a cord of energy, which is elastic. We can go up to the moon or Mars or Jupiter or Saturn without any problem. It's an elastic band of energy that cannot be cut unless you're going to die. You cannot cut the astral cord or astral silver cord, except on death. When you're not good, when a person dies, the astral body is cut. So when the astral body is broken, I think it's in the Bible. When the astral cord is broken, then you go into another realm. There is one person I met in Mount Banahaw in the 1980s, around about 1980s. Tagal na nun, no? I used to go to Mount Banahaw from the 1980 to 1990. Every weekend I was there, communing with the spiritista, the hermits, healers, albolarios, no? And people who were engaged in healing, even the mga anting-anting practitioners, no? In Mount Banahaw. And most of them have certain knowledge that are unusual. And when I was there in going to Mount Banahaw, there I have experienced so many things. I got into trance and get messages from the spirit world. Well, right now I don't go into trance anymore, not so much anymore, except on very special occasions. But before that, I would go out of my body many times, but I cannot go out of the room. You see, many people who go out of the body, they can go anywhere they want to. They can go out of the they can get out of the room, out of their house, and go elsewhere. There is one woman I met who is doing astral projection normally, is very, very naturally. And she would go to places that she wanted to. And one time she was telling me the story that her parents and some relatives went on vacation in the US. And then one night or one day, say evening dito, day doon. So I think they was during daytime, evening doon sa US. She tried to see where they are. in her astral body. She went there to the US in her astral body. She saw them. She saw the father and the relatives in their car, parked in a gasoline station, asleep. Siguro nakatulog sa trip nila. Nakatulog, nakapark dun sa gasoline station in the US. Gabi nun. Of course, gabi nun dito. Umagang. And then she was looking and she saw her father sa windshield, no, sa salamin. Then she saw her father open his eyes and parang nakita siya, and then she left. Umalis siya. Afterwards, when they came back to the Philippines, she told the story of that she went out of her body and that she saw the parents there in the car. And the father said, yes, I dreamt that you were there. I saw you, and you were wearing a yellow dress. And she said, yes, I was wearing a yellow dress when I saw you, when I went out of my body. So that was confirmed. The astral cord is silvery. And I met this, well-known, popular movie star. She's very young. At that time, she was very young. In Mount Banahaw. And she could see the astral cord, the silver cord. Her name is Dina Bonavi, who happens to be very, very psychic, but she is rejecting her psychic gifts. Doesn't want to talk about it. But she's very, very well advanced, very highly developed psychic. And she was telling people at the time, I read an article about her, that one time on a full moon, she found herself out of the body, and she went out of the window and going out away, malayo, she went far distance. Then she saw a silver cord because it's glistening because of the moon, the light from the moon illuminated the silver cord. And she saw herself connected to her umbilical cord. And then natakot siya, she went back to her body. So I have all my astral projection. I have never seen my astral cord, the silver cord. It's not always easy to see that. But that is what connects you to your physical body. Why can you not move when you're out of the body? Because you're out of the body. If you're driving a car, you get out of the car, you cannot move your car. See, it's as simple as that. If you're out of your car, you cannot drive. In the same way, if you're out of your body, you cannot move your body. That's logical, isn't it? So that's the principle on this. And let's go back to the purpose. I said earlier that one of the purposes of going out the body is that we learn about the spirit world. And number two, we rest our body much better when we are out of, our physical body is rested better when we are out of our body. And then yung meeting of guides there, we learn things about the spirit world faster, better in the astral world if we go out of the body. We meet spirit guides and people who are out of their bodies. Not all the time that we meet other people in the astral field. And there are many levels, by the way. There are many planes of existence. According to the esoteric literature, there are 7 planes in the astral plane. And each plane has 7 subplanes. So, ganun karami, no? Ang different levels. Now, there is the higher plane and there's the lower plane. If you get into the lower plane, that's dangerous because there are some negative creatures lurking there and also ready to pounce on you when you get there, like a black hole, and you cannot get out. And that's the cause of bangungot, no? It's not because of, they said, bloated pancreas or inflamed pancreas. It's not necessarily. Maybe it is true also, but one of the reasons there why what happened that you get into the other body and there are some creatures there that will try to grab you and you die and you moan and all that, and then if you're not waken up, you're dead ball. So how to prevent that is don't sleep when you're in a negative mood or when if you're angry or negative. Then you go to the lower plane and you meet negative creatures. It's like attracts like. No? So when you sleep, you better maybe prayer will be a very good practice before sleeping. So you will get into that plane where there are good natured spirits that you will meet. You may not be remembering them, but many times you're meeting them, but without remembering. So it's a good practice to pray before sleeping, so that you don't get into the lower plane and cause bangungot. So that's the reason for bangungot. Of course, possible also the medical reason of pancreas being bloated. If you eat too much rice daw, ganun yung mangyayari. So I don't know. Iba yung pamaniniwala ako sa medical. This is not a medical explanation. It's an esoteric explanation of bangungot. Okay. What other things are important to know about astral projection? It can be practiced. In my when I used to conduct seminars before the pandemic, I have a course on a basic ASP, which is 2 days, and then they have an advanced course which is 5 evenings from 6 to 9 p.m. 5 evenings where I teach people how to guard the body, how to do automatic writing, how to develop higher consciousness, how to even meet your spirit guides in the advance. You cannot be accepted in the advance unless you have taken the basic ESP or some other courses related to this field. Unfortunately, I cannot conduct personal seminars anymore, neither can I conduct regression personally. I can only accept consultancy online. I have not tried doing regression online because I'm afraid if something happens, I will not be there to help the client. So maybe if there is somebody else in that room aside from you, somebody you trust, then probably I can do regression online. Anyway, I have not done it yet. Maybe when the pandemic is eased, when there's no more quarantine, then possibly I can resume, hopefully. Okay, what are the other questions? If you have any questions, just either how do you do this? You call up, you email, you just talk. I don't know how you're gonna do this. I'm being assisted here by my part-time secretary, part-time assistant, Daniel, who is our neighbor, and she's the one helping me here because I don't know anything about the internet. I don't know anything about social media. I'm totally ignorant about these processes. And without her, I will not be able to do this. I don't know how to manipulate the laptop and all these kind of things. We are the old school, we're not high, we're old tech. So I need assistance in this field. Good thing that I can still do this. So we'll have a record of things that people would like to know. So if you have questions, you can, how do you call this? Just say so, that's right? Or I don't know I don't know how this happens. Whether you can write about it, and if I'm still around, I'll answer the questions here. And you will notice for inquiries, you read the numbers that you can call or the email. You can email me for questions. So that's all for now, unless I have not talked about astral sex. No? Maybe in another occasion, there is such a thing as astral sex. It's not sex in the usual sense because there's no physical contact because you're out of your body. So there's no physical contact, but there is a union of the souls in the astral. It happened to me, and I found that it happened to several people. That's when I've run out. I was imagining things. Uh, that's another interesting topic. And maybe some other time we can also talk about spirit guides. So for now, that's all that we can tell you about astral projection. There's still more. Just ask your questions. We shall try to answer them. Okay? So this is Jimmy Licaco signing off for Inner Mind Online. And if you have any suggestions and topics to be discussed here, please do so. One of the things I want to discuss is a pendulum, how to use the pendulum. This is very, very interesting tool that you can get answers, from the pendulum. Okay, there is a question from Rob Cruz. Hi, this off topic. The blue bracelet is lapis lazuli, right? What is the other one you are wearing on your right? Oh, this one. No, the other one here. Um, this one was given to me. It has. It's not it's not quartz. The one is lapis lazuli. You're right, no? Because say lapis lazuli is sacred to the ancient Egyptians, and I had an Egyptian incarnation 3,500 years ago. So I'm very close. I mean, I have very affinity with Egypt. I've been to Egypt. I've seen the pyramid, and I've climbed the pyramid of Giza, and amazing. But the other one, I don't know what this is, but this has Tibetan prayers, very powerful. It has Tibetan prayers. No, this one. I don't know what it is made of. It's not quartz, I think, but it's interesting. It's very powerful. You notice that, you people are noticing everything. All right. So that answers the question, Rob. Thank you for the question. Anybody else would like to ask questions on any topic? You don't have to limit it to astral projection. Should be signing off in a few seconds. Okay. So there are no more questions. Give me your suggestions. Write to me at email me, jaime@yahoo.com. Give your suggestions on topics to be discussed. This is Jane Fuentes. My God, don't know if I remember, of course. Anyway, nice to see you. I was thinking of you, Jane. The last few weeks, you have been coming to my mind. My God, this is interesting. Because I was wondering whether you're still teaching psychology. She used to teach psychology at here in Las Piñas. The place where Daniel also studies, no? And I have not seen her since ages, maybe in the 1980s. So please write to me, Jane, and let me know what's happening to you, whether you're still teaching psychology or whatever you're doing. You get married now, how many grandchildren you have. Thank you for taking time, to contact me. Yes, I remember you very clearly. Okay, so any inquiries, you either call up 0998-988-6292 or email me at jaime@yahoo.com, and I will reply to your inquiries. There are books available and there are seminars online you can attend. This Sunday, we have a seminar on developing or how to develop intuition through remote viewing. I think the remote viewing, yes, I think so. So just call up or email me. So thank you very much for listening, for watching. This is Jimmy Licaco signing off on Inner Mind Online. Thank you.